Dangote Group of Companies compensates families of those who lost their lives or got injured in the Afo Ibu Umuchu fatal crash. Town planners charged to develop roadmap for urban development that attracts investments. Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria closes parts of Murita Mohammed Airport for 6 weeks. 36-year-old Russian investigative journalist arrested for peddling drugs. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News this morning. I am David Opokwasile. Dangote Group of Companies has issued checks worth more than 10 million naira to affected persons in their Foibuibu Umuchu fatal accident occasioned some time ago by one of its trailers fully loaded with bags of cement. The checks were given to the beneficiaries at the office of the Anambra State Deputy Governor, Government House Oka, when the group, alongside some of the affected persons, paid him a courtesy visit. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Dangote Group of Companies paid the compensation to the beneficiaries through a representative of NEM Insurance PLC, an insurance company engaged by the company to settle damages caused by any of the company's heavy trucks across the country. Speaking, Governor Obiano, represented by the deputy, Dr. Nkemo Keke, commended the group for deeming it fit to compensate the affected persons, unlike before, when the company's drivers are known to run away from accident scene, leaving their victims to bear their losses alone, and encouraged the beneficiaries to judiciously use the money given to them, though no amount of money can replace their lost loved ones or properties. Governor Obiano, while pointing out that the Dangote company's heavy-duty trucks have damaged a lot of roads in the state, called on them to devise means of giving back to the state, saying that the state is also one of the major customers of the company in the country in terms of cement and other products.
Accidents do happen. My happiness is that cases of these type of accidents in the past. Sometimes these accidents happen and nobody cares. People just go about their business. But I'm happy the way this has turned out. It says a lot about the company, the Dangote Group and the insurance company.
According to the special advisor to the governor on medical supplies and facilities, Dr. Vincent Opala, through whom the state government facilitated the payment of the compensation, 3 persons died in the accident, while about 7 persons received different degrees of injuries, commending the group for cooperating with the state government on the issue, and reiterated that the Obiano government will continue to ensure that things are rightly done in the state, especially in cases that concern the citizenry. Earlier in his speech, the representative of the insurance company, Mr. Kolawole Latif, appreciated the state government and the victims of the incident for amicably settling with the company without involving the court of law, and consoled the affected persons, especially those that lost their loved ones to the incident.
Based on our own commitment to identify with the family, we sent our own team down here to come and meet them, to discuss with them. With the help of SA, we have been able to discuss with all the family members involved, and we have resolved.
In their separate interviews, Ibibumuchu youth leader Mr. Vitus Ike and one of the bereaved persons, Mr. Valentine Ononuju, who lost his father to the incident, appreciated the company for keeping to its promise and thanked the state government for pursuing case to the end.
Sympathize with the victims.
I also thank you.
From Government House in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Anambra State government has urged the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners (NITP) to bring the expertise to bear in addressing the increasing rate of building collapse in the country. The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Primus Odele, stated this when the national body of the institute paid him a courtesy visit in his office at Government House, Oka. Correspondent Chibuzo Bidike completes the story.
Institute of Town Planners (NITP) was in the state to condole the state government in respect of recent building collapse at Onitsha, which claimed lives, and seek for stronger partnership to avert further occurrence. Receiving the team, Mr. Odero revealed that the state government is committed to having a well-planned cities in the state, but regretted that most lofty visions in the building sector collapse on the verge of implementation. The Chief of Staff challenged the association to come up with a roadmap that, when adopted, would achieve organized environment capable of attracting investors and addressing issues of building collapse in the state.
Investors are coming into an organized area. They know that this place is business area, this place is for this, that place is for residential, this place they know that yes, this society is organized.
In an address, the national president, NITP, Chief Lekwa Ezeuta, commended the state government for legislating and implementing the Anambra State Physical Planning Law, which should be backed with creation of a body that is professionally equipped to determine structural integrity of building structures.
The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners is insisting that all our urban areas, towns and settlements must be planned to achieve the desired friendly environment that will minimize man's health challenges while improving safety and productivity in the environment.
The group equally paid a courtesy visit on the rector, Federal Polytechnic, Oko, where they detailed her that the Department of Urban and Regional Planning is ripe for postgraduate course. The NITP noted that since it is the only institution that offers the course in the state, there is need to review the master plan of the campus to guide development. Responding, the rector of Federal Polytechnic, Oko, Dr. Francisca Anyaflugo, thanked the institute for the visit and assured that the institution has mapped out strategies of expanding its structural development of its extension campuses for a better environment.
I thank God that God has led us to really open our eyes and our research on that focus. And I believe that within a short time, we are going to have a breakthrough.
The national body of NITP later visited the School of Environmental Studies, where they encouraged the students to remain focused and as well educate them on the importance of the choosing profession for a brighter future. In Oka, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
In a related development, the national president, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Chief Lekwa Ezeuta, has called for collaborative efforts of all policymakers across the country to ensure that the environment is gas-free. Chief Ezeuta made the call when he led the executive members of the institute on a courtesy call on the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Achebe, in his palace as part of engagements to mark the World Environment Day. Correspondent Emengine Osadebe filed the report.
The national president, who pointed out that this year's theme is Beat Air Pollution, regretted the lack of planning of some areas in the country, saying that the air in urban areas is polluted with poisonous gases emitting from heavy machines, disposal and burning of waste, among others, and called on government to take urgent steps to address the issues.
To influence the policymakers, the public, as much as we can, to appreciate the purpose of town planning. That is why I'm moving around to talk to everybody about the need for that.
On his part, Igwe Achebe advised the group to give their members full support in elective positions in both federal and state governments so that they can be part of policymaking in the country, which, according to him, will help in curbing quackery in the profession as well as help in making policies on urban planning.
Town planners have a major role. Maybe now become an urban community just like Onitsha, because there's no water to plant. Maybe is industrializing very fast, and business are doing well. Oka is capital territory with lot of new areas are being planned.
The team later visited the Ogidi of Obosi, Chief Emeka Onwekwe, who is a fellow of the institute, where they asked him to advocate for the appreciation of town planning for the good of the society. Also, Engineer Onwekwe appreciated the national president and his team for the honor done him and urged both federal and state governments to pay more attention to town planning in various cities to curb incessant building collapse being witnessed in some parts of the country.
Without town planning, you won't get any meaningful development in the city because you have to work with town planners that prepare the master plan for the city. And with that plan, and it's the town planners that implement the plan.
Speaking to the ABS, the state chairman, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners, Anambra State Chapter, Mr. Maduakonam Amechina, said their national president's visit to Anambra State was part of the activities mapped out to mark this year's World Environment Day, adding that the tour is also aimed at intimating people on the need to appreciate the efforts of town planners.
The Justice, Development and Peace Commission, JDPC, Onitsha region of the Catholic Church has joined their counterparts world over to mark the 2019 World Environment Day. This they did by embarking on sensitizing the public through road work for people to deal fairly with the environment. World Environment Day was commemorated on the 5th of this month. Franca Ononoju has the report.
The campaign started from Sacred Heart Parish, Odapo, through Modebe Avenue, Ochanja Market to Opiweka Road, and extended to Spare Parts Market, Abuja Park, Oguta Road, and Ekene Junction, all in Onitsha. They display placards with inscriptions, "Keep your environment clean, stop blocking the gutters," among others. Speaking on the significance of the day, the Onitsha Regional Chairman of JDPC, Mr. Vitus Orebuna, regretted that people no longer care about their environment and advised that they should imbibe the culture of cleanliness.
Today is a day set aside to have a critical look and research over our deeds towards our environment. We observe from our exercise that many people use the waste products to block the drainages.
In his remarks, the chairman organizing committee, Mr. Anthony Okafor, explained that death breeds mosquitoes, which causes malaria, and advised people to shun indiscriminate dumping of refuse.
So anyway, so na akọwarafa na ihe a na-awụ n'ime gota abụghị the best maka na ebe now na Onitsha anwụnta karịa kedu ihe na-amụ anwụnta ọ bụ mmiri dọrọ na gota mmiri ahụ ya hapụ apụ.
Some participants expressed happiness and hope that the sensitization will caution the people against disposing their refuse inside the gutters and along the road. They call on the government to recruit youth environmental task force, whose duty will be to arrest and prosecute defaulters. From Onitsha, Franca Ononuju for ABS News.
And from Lagos, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria said it will close the Murita Mohammed International Airport's Apron Gate 1 and some sections of Taxiway F to human and vehicular traffic for 6 weeks. The agency said the directive, which became effective yesterday, would enable contractors working on the new terminal to link it with the old one. The agency's General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Mrs. Henrietta Yakubu, revealed this in a press release. Yakubu stated that to maintain orderliness and ensure safety of operators while the project lasted, the agency had developed and deployed specific procedures for vehicular movements and officers of the Aviation Security Department to be mobilized to ensure compliance. The federal government has last year said the new terminal will soon be completed and put to use. It stated that it envisaged that the new terminal, upon completion, would help to ease passengers' facilitation at airports as well as increase passengers' volume. The terminal was to have become functional since 2016, but the opening date had been postponed several times. And on business, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO Director Jose Grazino da Silva has praised over 100 countries that are combating illegal fishing. This followed their adoption of the Port State Measures Agreement PSMA to prevent illegal, unreported and unregulated IUU fishing. The PSMA, an international treaty brokered by FAO, took effect from 2016. At the moment, more than 100 countries have either adhered to it or are preparing to do so. The PSMA requires foreign vessels to be inspected at any port of call. It strengthens rules requiring countries to control their fishing fleets and raise the cost of IUU fishing by making it harder for wrongly caught fish to be sold. IUU fishing is estimated at 26 million tons yearly, or about 1/5 of the global catch, and undermines efforts to ensure sustainable fisheries through effective fish stock management measures around the world. A prominent investigative journalist has been arrested in Russia on drug charges. Ivan Golunov, known for his investigations into corruption in Russia, writes for online news source Meduza and has appeared on Al Jazeera. He was arrested in central Moscow while traveling to meet a source. His employer said he managed to tell friends after his arrest that he was given 2 packages containing an unknown substance, which police later said were drugs. Another bag reportedly containing drugs and scales was found in a police search of his apartment, Medusa said. PS described Golunov as one of Russia's most dogged investigative reporters. Golunov, 36, faces being charged with the mass distribution of drugs, which carries a potential sentence of between 10 to 20 years in prison. Nigeria's senior national team chief coach Gernot Rohr has revealed that Katsina United FC's goalkeeper Ikechukwu Ezenwa has sustained slight knee injury but is optimistic that he will make the final 23-man team squad to the 2019 African Cup of Nations holding in Egypt. Disclosing this in an interview in Asaba, Rohr said that at the moment there were no injuries. Zimbabwe will square up with the Super Eagles in a friendly before AFCON. Rohr said, unquote, "He's interesting. We are watching him. As of today, I do not know who is number one. Uzoho was number one during the World Cup. I took a big risk, but he did well. After the Mundial, he has had difficulty at his club. He went on to loan to Cyprus. Administrative issues prevented him from playing regularly, so I sent a goalkeeper trainer to drill him for 2 weeks as we had before the World Cup." Unquote. He said that Ezenwa's faithful attitude is helping the team. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. The headlines again before we go. Dangote Group of Companies has compensated families of those who lost their lives or got injured in the For Umuchu fatal crash. Town planners have been charged to develop roadmap for urban development that attracts investments. Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has closed parts of Muritala Mohammed Airport for 6 weeks. 36-year-old Russian investigative journalist has been arrested for peddling drugs. And that is the news this morning. I am David Opokwasile. The weekend show continues right after now.